Let it drop right here, Coach.
No,
What's up, everybody?
We need more music.
Welcome to Travis Talk Sports, show number 3, Coach. We're your hometown station on 1220 AM and also now on 98.1 FM.
Good, strong signal,
both.
98.1.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll have like 10,000 shows. Wouldn't that be cool? You're like 90 years old still doing sports. Big guest today. Big guest. Chris Aguilar's with us, former all-everything, football mainly. We're going to talk about can you talk about baseball a little bit?
Sure. I love baseball.
Well, you got a little closer to the microphone.
There we
so
go.
can
How's
hear
that,
you.
Coach?
So let me ask both of you. Hall of Fame. So let me set up the question. The Hall of Fame is supposed to honor those athletes in every sport who were outstanding athletes, or are we honoring people in the Hall of Fame that were outstanding people? So let's go slow. Are you an outstanding athlete or an outstanding person, or do you have
Outstanding athlete.
Yeah.
Then how come Barry Bonds, my buddy Roger Clemens, Kurt Schilling,
Because some of those voters mix both of those, outstanding athlete and outstanding person, together, and that's why they aren't voting for Barry Bonds and guys like that.
So as I said on my Facebook today, they're snobs. They're the
I don't know about snobs.
No?
I think they're just taking everything into consideration. Remember, the voters, they interview these guys. A lot of the baseball writers, they would, interview Bonds, and Bonds would, he wouldn't give them the time of day. So now it's, come back to bite him in the rear.
So it's okay. So it's not. We're not going to vote him in based on his accomplishments. We're going to vote him based on how he treated the sportscasters or the reporters. Would Bill Belichick ever get in the Hall of Fame then, Chris?
No, and he'll probably have some that won't vote for him either. Sorry.
Exactly.
Sorry,
No,
Chris.
that's fine. No, you're right. Some of those sports writers hold grudges. I mean, what Nolan Ryan didn't get a unanimous vote when he went in the Hall of Fame. People held out because for whatever reason. So, there's always going to be that person holds a grudge for a long time.
298-5487, 298-5487 in the 661.
Yeah, everybody, today's topics, we're going to talk about our local sports, high school, boys basketball, girls boys basketball, Masters College, 19 in a row. We're going to talk about NFL, Patriots versus Eagles in the big game, the Super Bowl. We'll recap last week's games, Pats versus Jags and Eagles versus Minnesota. Going to talk about the NBA, the All-Star games coming up. I have a personal experience here this week. I was at the Clippers-Celtics game this week. Got some good takes on what I saw there. So give us a call. If you have any topic you want to talk about, we want callers. 661-298-5487.
Are you waiving the call-in fee? No fee to call in?
It depends. If your call is good, I won't charge you. If it's bad, we will send you a bill.
298-5487 if you have something to say. Chris Aguilar, Travis Gist, and the coach. What sport do you want to chat about first? Basketball? You and Chris talk about basketball.
I don't care what we talk about. Let's talk about some local sports.
Unbelievable accomplishment. We have to have him on the air in a week or so. The Masters University.
That's correct.
19
19 games in a row. Wow.
They lost
School
their
record.
first game. Who did they lose to? Do you remember?
I don't even know who they lost to, but they're 20-1 right now.
I mean, I don't care who you are. If you're playing in the street and you're winning 19 straight games, that's quite an accomplishment.
Yes,
Yeah.
It is.
Don't you think, Chris?
If you're
I do,
listening
yeah.
and you've been to some of those Masters games, give us a call. We'd like to hear your take on what you see out there on the court.
You can listen on hometownstation.com. We've got to give you a plug for the best number one website locally, period. Hometownstation.com. You can listen to our show live. Big shout out and thank you to Charlene for everything that she does. So Masters College, we got to have them involved in the show at some point. Maybe in the next week we're going to work on that.
Yeah, and next week I do have the West Ranch head basketball coach coming in for an interview, so that will be fun.
Interesting about basketball. I truthfully, I played it in high school, a little bit in college. The parity now Last night, Cal. Did you guys watch the Cal UCLA game?
No, I didn't
No.
see that.
I was
You-
watching
you
the Penn
see it-
State Ohio State game.
Oh, you were? Did.
Yeah.
So UCLA doesn't have a great team this year. Barely beat one of the worst teams in the Pac-12. But I noticed the records, Travis, this year in the Pac-12. Everybody's kind of crummy. I mean, these are great kids, but instead of a team having 4 great players or 5, they've got 1. So the parity now, if you're a great player, you're not going to sit on the bench. You're going to transfer, right, Chris?
Well, I don't know if it's parity or if it's just maybe, they just beat each other. I mean, these guys go head to head, a couple times a week, during in the Pac-10, and they just kind of beat the snot out of each other.
Yeah, they beat the snot out of each other, and so they're just battling each other when they get into these league games, and it's hard to at this point see who's a clear-cut favorite for the Pac-12. But another thing that I'm noticing is all these top 100 players, how many of them are coming to a Pac-12 school?
Not
They're
very
going
many.
to Duke,
No.
they're going to North Carolina, they're going to
Your
one
school,
of the best
Kansas.
schools ever,
Kentucky.
Kansas Jayhawks.
But even Kentucky's lost. Kentucky's lost some games, close games this year. I don't know. In all sports, you have this parity. Back in the day, a kid would come to a college who was a pretty darn good player, highly recruited, and he would wait his turn. Chris, you know that, right?
Sure.
They don't wait their turn. There's no more
I mean,
waiting.
They did that at Duke with, Tyler Hansborough, Mark Ingram, or excuse me, the guy who plays for the Lakers, Brandon Ingram, excuse me, and a lot of other players there. They would, come in, stay there 4 years, and, go on.
Yeah. What?
If you don't get playing time, you're not going to go to the school anymore. I mean, Kareem had to sit out, a year and play with the JV squad? But if you're not going to get playing time right away, why even commit to a school?
Yeah, that's
If you're a top recruit.
You're right. That's way old school. Those kids won't do that now. And what you're seeing more and more, Coach, is these guys who aren't going to get the playing time or don't really care about care for a coach. What are they doing? They're going to Europe and they're playing. We see it with the Ball brothers, but we see it now even in my school, the Jayhawks. They had one of their top 10 freshmen who got in some trouble, and what he did, instead of sitting out for a year, he went to Europe and is playing professionally there, and then hopes to come back to the NBA and get drafted.
And I think a lot of players do that to get some notoriety, so they can, the NBA starts listening to them and hearing them, and then they're in and they want to get drafted in the top 10.
Yeah. I just want to go back real quick, Coach. I want to read this little segment here for men's basketball in the Masters University. It says in 1994-95, the Masters University won 18 games in a row, and that team advanced all the way to the NAIA Elite 8. I know a player on that team. His name's Mike Pemberthy, local resident here, now a coach for the New Orleans Pelicans. And it says now 23 years later, 2017-2018, Mustangs have reached 19 wins in a row, snapping their all-time record. And so they're ranked number 4. And they won a big game last night versus Vanguard, 86-79, where it was a tough back-and-forth game for the Mustangs, and they come out with a win. But they are now 20-1, 6-0 in league play. That's pretty awesome.
That's very awesome. That's the Masters University. I was just looking at the computer rankings, which I don't want to get into details, but Villanova's number 1, Purdue's number 2, Virginia's number 3, Duke's number 4, Michigan State. We can talk about their. I don't know what's going to happen to Michigan State's. Their athletic director resigned today, as he should. They're probably going to lose hundreds of millions of dollars. It'll be interesting to see what happens to their athletic.
Yeah, and
program.
I saw a report that both of their head coaches for basketball and football knew what was going on.
Oh my goodness.
So
That's
that could
bad
be-
news.
So number 5 is Michigan State. 6 is your school, Kansas. West Virginia is 7. Cincinnati 8. Gonzaga, which is up in Spokane, little tiny school, maybe 2,500 kids. And number 10, North Carolina.
Who's number 1 again?
Villanova. So who's your Final Four this year? March Madness is coming
Oh,
up.
man, right now, if you look at this year and you look at everything that's going on, it's a toss-up, really, if you think about it. I even think my team, Kansas, just doesn't have enough this year. But even I've watched a number of their games. They don't seem like they're Kansas years of old where they dominated folks. They're barely squeaking out wins, and they upset West Virginia, and then 2 days later they get beat by Oklahoma. So shoot, man, I don't know. It could
And
be
nobody's
anybody right
dominating for what Chris and I and Aaron. Nice of him to get on the mic. When he gets on the mic, it's expensive. Very expensive.
But I think that's good. I think that's good that it's a toss-up. It makes everyone watch March Madness even more, and it just keeps you glued to your TV, and they get the big ratings.
Says you.
I'll take Michigan State as a lock for the Final Four.
Really?
Especially in a year where there's no dominant team in the nation. You have Tom Izzo. You have Miles Bridges, who came back for his sophomore year. He's going to be a top 10 pick. He could have been a top 10 pick last year. He came back, super developed now. They have Mikal Bridges, who's going to be a top 5 pick. So you put all those three factors together in a year where there's no clear-cut, dominant top 5.
that experience, you're right, Aaron. That experience is going to help teams like Michigan State, Duke, North Carolina, Kansas. Those teams who know how to play in a tournament, have been there before, a lot of their players, that really is going to help.
The last three, everybody talks about the top 10. Here's the last three in the computer rankings. The last team is Akron. The
Zips.
Boston U is the second, and then Coastal Carolina. Yeah, Coastal Carolina. All right, that's enough of basketball. Or do you want to continue the conversation?
Well,
let's get into a real sport.
Okay,
That's a
what's
college
that,
game,
Coach?
Coach.
Yeah, Chris and I played football. Oh, how about the NBA? Timeout. I like what they're doing. LeBron has a team. Your guy, Steph, has a team.
Yes. So for the first time ever, those were the two captains, and they picked their team yesterday. And let's see, do we have those teams, Coach? Did you get those?
Well, we've
got
got
it-
a
I got it
staff.
right
We'll get
here.
our crack staff on
I
it.
got it right here.
Chris, what do you think? Do you like the format?
I do, but I think people should still be able to vote for the stars that are eligible to get drafted.
They did.
Oh, they did.
The fan.
Okay,
The
that's the
fans
only thing
voted,
was not aware of.
The fans voted for who they wanted to be in the All-Star game, and then the two highest players, which was picked, was Steph and LeBron, and those were the captains, and so they then picked their team.
Now they were talking about also adding a player, not this season, but because it's happening at the Staples Center. They were talking about how they would revise it or think about revising it the way baseball does, where it has at least one hometown player in the All-Star game. That way, hometown people can be like, "Hey, that's great. I want to go see that one player at least."
Well, I don't know if you're
the
if you're a
NFL
Clipper fan. I mean, who could you put on the All-Star team?
You could put Blake, but
No, he's injured too much.
Yeah.
You put Lou
know what?
Williams in there.
I was talking to Kyle Jennings, the station manager, a little bit ago, and we're talking about these all-star teams and how it's a mix of players from each conference on each team. And I was asking him, if you're gonna have teams that have mix of Eastern Conference All-Stars and Western Conference All-Stars, why have an equal number of players from each league? Why not have the 24 best players, regardless of conference? Why not have those players in the league or in the game? Because I would rather watch, I don't know who got snubbed. I'd rather watch Lou Williams in the All-Star game than, I don't know, maybe like Al Horford.
Well, there are a few players that got snubbed that were upset. One being Paul George, but let's run down the teams here. You guys tell me who you think has the best team. So Team LeBron, he picked his old point guard, Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant, Anthony Davis, DeMarcus Cousins, Bradley Beal, LaMarcus Aldridge, Kevin Love, Russell Westbrook, Victor Oladipo, Kristaps Porzingis, and John Wall. That's Team LeBron.
So it's a big man lineup, is what it sounds
Well,
like.
you got Irving, and you got Beal, and you got Victor and John Wall that are guards.
All right, roll
So
through
that's-
Steph's team.
So Steph's team, Steph Curry, James Harden, DeMar DeRozan, Giannis, the Greek freak, I can't even pronounce his last name. Can you?
Giannis. Antetokounmpo.
Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Antetokounmpo.
Joel Embiid, a Kansas Jayhawk. Damian Lillard. Jimmy Butler. Draymond Green. Kyle Lowry. Klay Thompson. Karl Anthony Towns. And Al Horford. So immediately everyone's saying James' team's just going to blow away Steph's team.
What do you think?
I think you got some three-point shooters, and these guys are going to shoot threes. You're going to see Steph just go off on these guys shooting threes. It's going to be – there's no defense played, so –
That's what I was saying to my friends. I said they're going to rain tray bombs with no regard for human life.
Exactly.
On
One
that
step
LeBron
over
team.
half court, one step over half court, and it's going up.
Yeah, no one plays defense in the All-Star game, and they jack up threes, and Steph's team looks like it's better equipped for that kind of game.
But here's what's funny. I don't know if you guys saw this. So they posted those two players picked their teams, and they posted the players that they picked in alphabetical order. Well, Russell Westbrook was way down on the list, and he got mad because he thought that was the order he was picked. So you got a bunch of these
I did
NBA
see
guys
that.
just whining because they don't even know why. He was thought he was getting dissed because LeBron picked him later on when he should have been picked first, which he probably shouldn't have been. He probably should have been picked Durant first, then maybe Anthony Davis, and then maybe
But
Westbrook.
think about when we were all kids in the schoolyard. If you were like picked last, I don't care whether it was kickball or whatever sport it was, you felt terrible. You felt embarrassed, you know.
Well, I wouldn't know. I never got picked last. Maybe that's something you've experienced, Coach. But if I was you, Coach, that's just a chance for me to go out there and dominate, right? Hey, that was wrong. You shouldn't have picked me last. But I don't know anything.
Well,
about it.
when I was a football player, I was a quarterback, so I got to pick. I got to pick, but when I was a basketball,
He was
you're right.
the captain.
I was somewhere in the middle.
Yeah,
hey,
right.
let's
Right.
get on to women's sports. I'm sick of talking about men's sports all the time. Let's give women some sports here. AP's top women's basketball team. Would you believe that Oregon's number 7?
Doesn't matter. They're not going to win.
That's why we're talking about women's sports. You saw Oregon somewhere, right?
Yeah, Oregon's number 7. I just saw that. UConn, what a unbelievable. UConn they're 18-0. I mean, year after year after year, they get the best female athletes in the country for basketball.
Well, when you keep winning, it's not hard to
Yeah.
replenish your team every year.
And I get it. If I'm a parent, I want my daughter to go to UConn.
Yeah.
And then Mississippi State, Baylor, Louisville, Notre Dame. Notre Dame is such a tough school to get. Aaron, were you a good student? I mean, you have to be a great student.
No, I was not a great student. Definitely not going to be accepted into Notre Dame anytime soon.
People talk about Stanford, but I mean, Notre Dame, you've got to be like a 4.0 and have all these community activities. It's not easy.
Since like the 6th grade, probably.
Yeah. You would need to triple my GPA.
So, are we ever going to talk about hockey, Travis?
Sure.
Okay,
Hey,
the
the
show's
Knights are on
called
a roll.
Travis Talk Sports, and we're not talking about hockey, okay? So, no hockey talk, period.
Callers, call in 298-5487.
Nobody wants to call in today. We'll have to take a break. We'll be right back. The show is called Travis Talk Sports every Friday at 1 o'clock.
Oh yeah! Oh yeah! Here we go! Here we go! A little run! Little run! No sweat! No sweat! I can do it! I can do it! You can do it! You can do it! Hoorah! Hoorah! A left side to you!
Tell them bring their guns out. Set my city up in play. And yeah.
Title Boxing Club is here in Santa Clarita. We're fast-paced, action-packed, and addictive. We've got music pumping and energy flowing. Come out to the Title Boxing Club and embrace your inner power and sweat it out at Santa Clarita's best workout spot for you and your entire family. Join us for your first shot-free class at the Title Boxing Club on Bouquet Canyon and Newhall Ranch. Come out to the Title Boxing Club and embrace your inner power and sweat it out at Santa Clarita's best workout spot for you and your entire family. Join us for your first shot-free class at the Title Boxing
Yeah, who's going to win the Super Bowl?
Hi, I'm Greg Amsley, owner of Salt Creek Grill. We have
Pat LaRue.
provide you with the most comfortable and inviting restaurant in Santa Clarita. Enjoy fresh mesquite grilled fish.
No, I don't care about the coach. I want to talk to that guy in charge, Travis.
Friday and Saturday night, and we have the best Sunday brunch in town. Salt Creek is on Town Center Drive.
Okay.
Reinvented with a distinctive Clopay garage door. With so many beautiful styles to choose from, Brooks Garage Doors and Painting rejuvenate your home's appearance by creating a dramatic entrance that makes a bold statement. Designed and made in the USA, try the Clopay Door Imagination System online and upload a picture of your home. Explore the possibilities at imagine.clopay.com. Let Brooks Garage Doors and Painting help you choose a quality, American-made Clopay garage door that complements your home. For a free in-home consultation, call 274-4297.
It's time to put the pedal to the metal. I'm Alan Taylor, host of The Drive, your source for all things auto. Broadcasting from the Peterson Automotive Museum every Saturday morning from 6 to 9 a.m. right here on KHTS. Brought to you by your friends at Galpin Motors.
Hey Dodgers fans, check out the KHTS website at hometownstation.com. Get the latest news and sports happenings in our Santa Clarita Valley. Find out more about KHTS shows and our on-air features, plus receive incredible discounts with our restaurant row certificates. That's hometownstation.com.
Hometown. I wanted to let you know that I really appreciate the way you guys do what you do.
Your hometown station.
1,000. Biz busy on the boards. Yeah, I hear him cheering from the side.
That's boxing music right there.
That's good music. Coach, before we move to our special guest, I do have to say one thing real quick. I had the privilege of going to the Clippers-Celtic game 2 nights ago on Wednesday night with from nice tickets from my buddy Michael Badalion, who got them, so we had a good time out there. But I was amazed, Coach, how many Boston Celtics fans were at this game. I mean, the introductions, they were just roaring, ripping for Celtics throughout the game, just Celtics. And we talked to one of the workers there and said, the night before they played the Lakers, was it the same way with, when the Lakers were here? No, not at all.
Well, Boston's a legacy team like the Oregon Ducks are, so you're you have a caller that apparently wants to talk to you.
We have a caller?
Yeah.
Who is it? Caller, are you there?
Yeah, this is Pat LaRue. Who's going to win the Super Bowl?
Hey, Pat, how are you today? Thanks for calling in. Pat, well, I am going with the New England Patriots. However, I kind of wish Philadelphia would win, but I think the moment's going to be too big for Nick Foles, and that the experience of the Patriots and Tom Brady will solidify his merits for being the best quarterback ever.
Just because his nickname is Folding Foles? Folding Foles.
Yeah.
Thanks for calling in, caller. That was very thoughtful of you to ignore me and go right to the host. That's fine.
He wants to go where there's knowledge.
He had no
of
interest
sports.
in you, Coach.
No, zero.
On the phone, he said, I don't want to talk to the coach.
Sounds like my wife. We got another special guest in the studio. Honored to introduce Jason Perez with New American Funding. We're going to find out about New American Funding here in a minute. Well, maybe Jason, you were an athlete, soccer player, right?
I was, yes, sir.
Big time.
I got to D1 school, got to UC Berkeley, and graduated from there, so that's a pretty decent accomplishment.
Yes.
Jason, we call it Cal, buddy.
Cal works for me.
Cal. What, your basketball team, did you watch the game last night?
Yeah, that's why I'm not calling it Cal.
No, but you guys start off great. I mean, you're up on UCLA. I watched the game a little bit. And I thought you were in the whole game. I thought you had a really chance of winning it, and then at the end, you folded.
Yeah, honestly, Cal always recruits great athletes, great student athletes as well. I know you guys are talking about Notre Dame being a difficult school to get in there, and UC Berkeley is very similar. So we'll always be competitive. Obviously, we had some great years, but I think this is one of those years where we'll be happy to be competitive.
Lee, the big kid, and then we'll talk about New American Funding. I'm interested to find out what you guys do. He NBA. He could be an NBA, maybe a second, third round. I mean, I thought he played hard.
No, he really did. I like the intensity. I like the speed, the quickness. I mean, again, these guys are all such phenomenal athletes, so you just enjoy watching them no matter what level they get up to. But I definitely see him as having some NBA potential for sure.
All right, so you're our soccer expert. Chris is our football expert. I don't know what Travis does. We have no clue. The show is called Travis Talks Sports, brought to you by Title I Box. You and I got to go over there, Jason. It's a new concept. You're not hitting anybody. You're hitting bags, right? You and I went over there. well laid out, right across the street from Best Buy. Check it out. You will like it. It's really nice people. 70% women go there, you guys. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So tell us about New American Funding. Who are you? What do you do?
Right. Well, basically, New American Funding. We're what's deemed a mortgage bank, which means we're a direct lender. We issue all of our funds. We provide mortgages for residential properties up to 4 units, and basically loan amounts ranging from $50,000 to $5 million. So our office is centrally located right here at Valencia Town Center, so we're city center, and we're pretty much always open.
24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Hey, whenever you need me, I'm there.
So stay with us. Can you stay with us?
Yes, sir.
Talk
Love
about
to.
sports. What do you want to talk about?
No, whatever you guys want me to talk about. I was happy to be here. I appreciate the opportunity.
Okay. Well, you'll be back many times. Is it soccer season? I'm embarrassed. I don't even know.
It is right now. Yeah.
What are you making a face like that, Travis?
I don't know.
There's other sports besides
follow
basketball, Travis.
I know. I should learn more about it. But here's the thing. You want to know why? I say this same thing about hockey. My boys over at the Zone know this. Soccer, I want some action, okay? Get rid of the offsides in soccer and icing, offsides, whatever, in hockey. You know what? More action, more scoring, that's going to draw me in. I hate 0-0 game, 1-0 game. Let's get some action. So I hear these guys saying, well, that's not going to be fair, So what? Get a guy back there to defend if there's a guy offside. It's like saying in basketball, if you get on a fast break, nope, stop and wait for the guy to come and defend you, and then you can go and play. And in soccer and in hockey, get rid of that rule. You'll have a fan. Because those guys are in some serious shape. I will not question that at all. Both hockey players and soccer players in great shape. But I want some more scoring. I want some more action.
Have you ever been to a live soccer game? You would change your mind. You have?
Yes, I have.
I think what you're saying, it doesn't resonate on television. Chris, would you agree with that?
I think he's right. It doesn't resonate on TV. Plus, the fact that the USA didn't even make it to the World Cup this year.
Stop it, Chris. Stop it.
Doesn't really.
That's
really
hurtful.
matter.
Yeah, that. Yeah.
I think the fans are here. I just don't think that the players are. I think it's too difficult to get up at 6 a.m. on Saturday and watch the EPL. But I think if you got some of the better players in America, because you see in Portland, you see the Timber games, they're going nuts.
Right.
You got a lot of Chivas fans, Galaxy fans.
Well,
You
here's
just have to
another
get the talent.
another thing in USA versus Europe and other countries. They don't have NFL football. They don't have Major League Baseball. They don't have NBA caliber basketball. And so the fans attract to that sports soccer because that's the main thing, right? If we didn't have any of that here in the USA, I'd probably be more of a soccer fan.
That's a good point. It's the only game in town. Jason Barrett's, everybody, our wonderful guest, New American Funding. If you're looking for, I guess, a mortgage, right?
Yes, sir.
On 1 to 4 units.
1 to 4 units.
How are things going? Is it busy? You guys busy?
Yeah, it's definitely busy. The biggest issue we have right now facing the real estate market is just inventory. I mean,
what does that mean? I hear that. So it's a seller's market, but what happens when there's no inventory? What causes that?
Basically, it's supply and demand. So the fewer amount of homes available, the more property values increase, and the harder it is for people to qualify or to even find homes that they can afford to be in. So, in a nutshell, that's pretty much it.
So when there's not a lot of homes like that out on the market, the other side of your business, is it refinance? Is that
exactly right. So it's basically, as a loan officer, there's 2 things where we really come into play. The first is actually helping people get into the homes that they're trying to get into, whether you're a first-time home buyer trying to qualify for a condo or a small single-family residence, or you're more advanced in life and more successful and trying to get into a multi-million-dollar home. We cover all ends of the spectrum. But the part that I actually take the most pride in is actually when we're able to help existing homeowners manage their finances through managing their mortgage in a way that basically is individually customized to them. So not everybody can afford to go into their savings account or their retirement account to send kids to college or to finance medical procedures, things like that. Just you name it, there's opportunities to basically help them out with. So what we do is we make it a point to really work with the client, find out what absolutely works best for them, or is in their best interest. And as long as that makes sense to them, that's really what we're there to help them do.
Wow, nice
Perfect.
job. New American Funding, that's Jason. So let me stay on soccer for 10 more seconds.
One.
Every city in the United States on the weekends, just what Aaron was saying, is full of young kids. Where's our farm system? Don't we have plenty of talent?
Well, here's my take. When I was a kid, like many of the kids here and my kids, some of them did too, they played that youth soccer, right? What is it called? CYSO? AYSO.
Yep.
And I don't know. For me, then I just drew more into playing basketball and loved that more, and that's the direction I went. So I think because there's other things available, those kids may start out in AYSO, but then find another sport that they like. I don't know.
What's going on, Jason?
Yeah, I definitely think in regards to that with AYSO, I mean, I have a great affinity for AYSO. I played AYSO until I was not able to anymore, just based on age. My mom was actually the president of the entire American Youth Soccer Organization, the very first woman ever elected that position for the organization itself. So definitely have a background in that. But what I will say, at least in my opinion, what's really affecting the growth of soccer. It is one of the fastest growing sports, one of the fastest growing markets here in the U.S. You see ESPN, Fox, even I forget. I think it's Al Jazeera Sports Network is like making bids to actually bring in marketing and provide those games broadcast on American television. So.
And I agree with Jason. I think, and my prediction is in 20, 25 years, that soccer will be much, much bigger in the USA. And I also think that it could be even faster if we continue to have issues with concussions and things like that in football. The parents are going to keep their kids away more and more from football. That's going to lead them to a different sport, and that sport may be soccer.
We need to do a show about that. Don't get me riled up. I don't want to get Chris riled up either. But what do you think What do you think the most dangerous sport is, Travis? Cheerleading.
Oh,
there's more industries in cheerleading. Nobody talks about it anyway. Jason, is it okay if we talk about football now?
Yes, sir.
Hey, one other thing. If you got a question for Jason about mortgages or anything like that, your funding, give us a call, 661-298-5487. We'll get you hooked up with Jason.
If we get one caller that calls in about New American Funding and asks one question, I will have a very special gift for that person.
Oh, nice.
298-5487, a really nice gift.
Hey, also, real quick, as you heard in the commercial break and from Coach as well, Title Boxing is one of our sponsors, and he still has a special. As you know, last week he promoted 10 listeners. If you go into his facility and say, I heard about Title Boxing on KHTS 1220, you get the rest of the month at no charge. So 4 people did that. They heard him on the show, they went there, they signed up, they got the rest of the month at no charge to try out Title Boxing. So definitely, your 6 more openings. Go to Title Boxing. You can visit them, Title Boxing Santa Clarita, on Facebook. And also, it's right across the street from Best Buy on, what was that, Soledad and Bouquet. That's right.
I'll go there tomorrow.
Yeah, seriously. I'll go there with you. What time are you going to come?
I was thinking maybe 11:30.
Yeah. Okay, 11:30. Wait, what are you doing, Aaron? What are you doing? It's eye candy when you get there. Are you married?
Yes, I am.
Okay, just be careful because it's full of nice.
Careful, Coach.
I'll look
nice
with one eye
ladies.
open.
Careful.
Jason, is your mom listening to the show by any chance?
I hope so. She definitely is going to try.
We should. What's her first name?
It's Paula.
Paula. We should get you in to talk about soccer, and maybe we can get Travis to understand that it's a great sport. All right, another great sport, my favorite sport. There's only 2 sports. That's football and spring football, Chris. Agreed?
I agree.
So Super Bowl's coming up next week. Your heart sounds... You sound like you really want Philadelphia, Travis.
I really don't care. My Chiefs aren't there. I don't care. But...
yeah, your Chiefs laid an egg, big boy.
Yeah.
Chris, who do you want?
In the Super Bowl, I prefer the Rams to be there.
The Shams?
Sounds like you and Jason want the Rams. Aaron, what about you?
I know a couple guys that are Lambs fans, too.
I want my boy Tommy to win his 6th Super Bowl ring and further solidify his place as the GOAT.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a close game.
You know,
I think it'll be closer than people think.
4.5 points now is the spread. Lane Johnson, who's an all-pro tackle, called him pretty boy. I think he's going to regret that. I really think calling Tom Brady pretty boy will be a regrettable statement.
This is what they do. I mean, look, the Pats let the other team talk. You heard Jalen Ramsey talk before the AFC Championship game. They torched him. They torched him all day. Brandon Cooks had a field day out there. But you know what? They let the other team talk, and Tommy does his talking on the field. I am not a Tom Brady, or I'm not a Patriots fan. I'm a Raiders fan. And I was burned by the Tuck Rule game. But look, sustained greatness. You got to respect it.
You ever thought about radio? You have a great radio voice.
It's
Never think about that.
Another thing about the Patriots is
maybe I should work at a radio station.
Look at look at last year versus Atlanta, man. They were down. Everybody thought that game was over. It should have been over, but they just kept playing, and that's the one thing that the Patriots do. Even last week, they're down 20-10 in the fourth quarter, and they just kept playing, and they made the plays, and the guys didn't freak out. Tom Brady is so cool, calm, and collected. He's got everything under control, and you can't rattle him.
I always feel like it's like in Scarface. You know when Tony Montana is leaving the restaurant? He's like belligerent. He's yelling at, what's her name? What's the actress's name?
Michelle Pfeiffer.
Michelle Pfeiffer, and he's like, say goodbye to the bad guy. And he's like, you need me. You need people like, we need the Patriots. Could you imagine Jacksonville versus the Eagles? How lame would that be? We would have to talk about that for 10, 14 days? I'm not doing that.
Yeah. Nice comment, Aaron. Big shout out to the boys at Leon's, right? Our fan club. Is there a president over at Leon's?
There is a president. His
No.
name is Ronald Sidney Cunningham. He's the president of the Smoke Zone. But there is a vice president.
I haven't seen Ronnie in a while. Is he there today?
He's there, yeah.
And Pat.
There is a vice president, and that's me.
You're the vice president?
I win the vote, and just in case, Ronnie has to be somewhere, I'm in charge over there.
I want to continue on football for a second because I want to go down this path for a second. Millions or hundreds of millions, Chris, Jason, or Bet, Travis, on football, right?
Right.
And the NBA wants to now get involved in the gaming business and charge bettors or charge somebody a piece of every dollar that's bet on it. Are you aware of this, Travis?
No, I haven't heard that.
So you're aware of this, Aaron, right?
I am.
So
being a degenerate myself, I am keenly aware of this.
So they want to tax the bettor.
No, they don't want to tax the bettor. They want to tax the whatever the platform is, whether it's Bovada or in-game
No, but
betting.
we're going to wind up paying for it. Come on, Aaron.
Right.
Well, they want.
Pass it
I think
along.
they want a 1% of all bets made on every game.
Is that like on FanDuel and DraftKings and all those?
Yeah, and I'm sure they're going to open up to in-game betting or in-arena betting. You'll be able to access it on your phone. They'll have kiosks inside their arena.
Wow.
I love it.
You might have fans coming out of the stands and cracking somebody in the leg.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. I don't know.
No, but it's time we get real. I mean, it is amazing how all this is not discussed, and the hundreds of millions of dollars that is bet some of this revenue could go to some great causes. Question, Jason, with New American Funding. Is gambling on soccer? I know that's a naive question. In Europe, is it a big deal?
Yeah, it is. They have the fantasy aspects, such as DraftKings, and I forget the other one that's out here. It's pretty popular, but yeah, they have that aspect over there. They also have gambling there as well. There's been a couple scandals as well that have popped up in recent years, which, yeah, it's pretty entertaining.
I actually think that there's stadium betting in Europe for soccer.
In some, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. So, hey, we want to hear you guys, you listeners out there, 298-5487. Who's going to win the Super Bowl? Who's your pick? Give us a call. Give us your take and why you think the Eagles or the Patriots are going to win the Super Bowl.
Well, Justin Timberlake's going to be performing at halftime, so we all win.
What's the over under? He does something like he did last time he was on there.
I don't know. Depends on which Jackson's out there.
All right, so we'll take a quick break. We'll come back. This is where Travis gets to express himself, editorial, about anything. What are you going to talk about today?
Since when is that? I mean,
just starting it.
Really
just starting the
now?
segment.
An editorial on whatever I
5
want.
seconds ago.
I don't know. We'll see. Let me think.
There's nothing bugging you about sports?
No.
Well, there was something,
yes,
but
maybe
Michigan
some whiny
State was
NBA players. So there's some whiny NBA players.
Michigan State's not bugging you?
I don't care about Michigan State.
Oh, my God. We'll be right back on Travis Talks Sports every Friday at 1 o'clock, 298-5047. The phones were ringing off the hook last week when the phones weren't working. Now they're working, 298-5047.
Little Eye Leaders is the newest preschool in the Santa Clarita Valley. At Little Eye Leaders, our outstanding teachers lead with intellect, perspective, and heart. That means our programs provide a warm, nurturing atmosphere to meet the unique needs of each child. We believe that play is a powerful form of learning for young children. That's why our kids have every opportunity to learn through the magic and excitement of play. Parents, schedule a tour today by calling 303-0400 or online at littleeyeleaders.org.
There are times when nothing else will do because you know exactly what you want. You want the Alamo, the taste of true Mexican cooking at its best. At Alamo, you're treated to a taste that is truly Mexican with an atmosphere to match. Enjoy a Cadillac margarita, try a mucho burrito, or sizzling fajitas. Voted the best Mexican food in the SCV and a favorite of former supervisor Mike Antonovich. Alamo Rotisserie in Granary Square, serving Santa Clarita for over 30 years.
There's only one Santa Clarita plastic surgeon who is Yale trained and board certified, Dr. Justin Heller.
To be a board certified plastic surgeon like myself, what that truly entails is about 5 to 7 years of honed surgical training in reconstructive, all areas, as well as aesthetics, which means your facelifts, your breast augmentations, your body contouring, true training, and board certification. In fact, that's the only board certified area that can be achieved in this realm.
Dr. Justin Heller, warm, understanding, always available for guidance because he's local. HellerPlasticSurgery.com.
Title Boxing Club is here in Santa Clarita. We're fast-paced, action-packed, and addictive. We've got music pumping and energy flowing. Come out to the Title Boxing Club and embrace your inner power and sweat it out at Santa Clarita's best workout spot for you and your entire family. Join us for your first shot free class at the Title Boxing Club on Bouquet Canyon and Newhall Ranch Road.
Your hometown station, KHTS.
Oh yeah! Oh yeah! Here we go! Here we go! A little run! Little run! No sweat! No sweat! I can do it! I can do it! You can do it! You can do it! Hoorah! Hoorah! A left side to you!
Tell them bring their guns out.
All right, welcome back. Travis Talks Sports here on KHTS 1220, 98.1 FM. Let's get some callers in here. Give us your picks on the NFL Super Bowl. Patriots Eagles, Coach. We're going to go down the line here and
I like the Patriots to cover the spread. I like the Patriots. They have an they have a system. The Patriots play chess when everybody else is playing checkers. Their ability to run an offense, their ability to look at how his receivers catch his football. You don't catch a football from Tom Brady, you're not on the team. Right or wrong, Chris?
You're right. Yeah, you're on the bench.
And the discipline, the process, the entire organization. Nobody's running their mouth in Boston.
Yeah,
so
right.
anyway, I like New England.
What is the line, by the way?
4.5.
5.5 right now.
5.5.
5. Wow.
It bounces back and forth.
Chris, who you got?
I got the Eagles 27-21.
Wow.
Turn his mic off. Get him out of the studio. You're taking the Eagles? Why? Give me a good reason.
I think just because they're the underdog, they have a lot to prove, and it's like you guys were talking about earlier, getting picked last. No one's giving them a chance, so why not?
What about little Saxonville? What about they ran their mouth? They beat Pittsburgh, my team.
I think they played to lose, not to win. That's why they lost.
And you don't think the Eagles will do the same thing?
No, I think they got a pretty good coach in Peterson.
All right.
By the way,
Jason, what do you think?
Came from?
I actually, guys, I'm going with New England. Going New England from the standpoint that I don't think anything really trumps experience. And in this case right now, you have neither team's really prolific on offense or prolific on defense. They look on paper pretty evenly matched, except for the quarterback, which is Tom Brady against Nick Foles. So I think I'm going to go New England all day long, and I think they'll cover the spread as well.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. Same with me. last week I thought, well, Jaguars has this top-ranked defense. If they can get to Brady, then maybe it'll be a game. And they got to him a little bit, not much, but
3 sacks.
It didn't last. And that's the same thing, I think, with the Eagles. They'll get to him. They'll be there. But in the end, it's going to be Tom Brady and the experience and all the work and all the discipline and all of Bill Belichick that he's put into is going to outright win against Philly. And I'm going to go 31-24.
I love it. Aaron, what's your take? You're maybe the smartest guy in the room. Maybe.
Thank you. Yeah.
Maybe.
Right.
I said maybe.
I turned down Berkeley. I don't
know.
No,
you didn't.
I think. Look, I think the Pats are going to win. I think Philly's defense is good, but I think they're going to make Nick Foles beat them on offense. I don't know though, because Nick Foles, he had a great completion percentage last game. They really make a game plan tailored for Nick Foles, where he's not going to make a mistake to lose the game.
Yeah, and I agree. And I thought that Minnesota had a chance because of their great defense, and I thought they'd probably get to Foles and he'd rattle, and he didn't. And he hung in there. He threw some great balls, some deep balls, and he was confident the whole time.
All right, baseball. We'll talk more about football next week. 1 o'clock every Friday, Travis Talk Sports, brought to you by New American Funding. If you're looking at refi, look, interest rates right now are at a place that we're probably not going to see for a long time now. They're ticking up. So now's the time to call New American Funding. Jason is a nice-looking man. He's smart. He went to Cal, a soccer player. What else can I say?
No, I'll just give you guys my contact information if you don't mind. My phone number is 661-972-1092, and the website is lendscv.com.
Nobody's going to remember that, Jason.
Say it again. They'll remember.
Give your phone number out again.
One more time, it's just 661-972-1092, and the website is lendscv.com.
And he went to Cal. Now, Jason, do you like baseball?
I do. Love it.
Hall of Fame. Let's talk about the Hall of Fame. Players need to appear on 75% of the ballots cast to earn election into the Hall of Fame. So here's your 4 players that were elected this year. Chipper Jones, okay, I'll give you that. Vladimir Guerrero played for Montreal, and he's going in as an Angel. I don't remember him because.
Oh yeah. Vlad was awesome.
He was fantastic.
The first player to go
I'm
in
not
as
an American
Angel.
League guy. I'm a Dodger fan. So Jim Thome, I had an office in Cleveland, so I actually saw him play. He was a stud. And then the pitcher, Trevor Hoffman.
San Diego Padres.
Yep. Reliever, right?
That's
Closer.
Closer. Yeah. Here's who didn't make it. Edgar Martinez, Mike Mussina. They were close. They were 70.4% for Edgar Martinez. Roger Clemens of the steroid era boys, he was at 57.3. So Jason and Chris, do we vote in the best player or the best person?
Well, that's a hard one, especially during the steroid era. I don't vote in any of the steroid guys. A lot of them got caught. Roger Clemens had to go to Congress and testify. With Barry Bonds, if you got eyeballs, you could see his head just get inflated every year. So, it's not hard to tell.
Well, the thing about Barry Bonds is he would have made it anyway without steroids.
Yeah, I agree with Travis on that.
Sadly, absolutely.
Yep.
I second that too from the standpoint.
Cheating is cheating, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah.
But here's the thing: if you and I'm a baseball guy, if you talk to baseball guys, they were all cheating at some form. No, back in the day, it was greenies and reddies and all. They've been doing some form of enhancement through some.
Well, and coach, they still do it today. Okay, maybe it's not the steroids injection or whatever, but you always hear about some guy who's getting even a prescription of something from his doctor, but it had some ingredient that was banned, and boom, he's suspended. Well, same thing. Even take away pills, steroids, or whatever, they're still cheating on the field. They're trying to get signs. They're trying to do that. So it's part of baseball. I don't know. Major League Baseball loved 70 home runs. They loved what it did for their game. So I find them to be at fault on this a little bit myself, too.
Because they knew.
Yeah, they knew.
Yeah.
I think some cheating is acceptable, like the stealing, maybe, stealing the signs isn't all that really acceptable in baseball. But I mean, when you have to inject yourself to be a better player, then I think you're crossing the line.
One is gamesmanship, and the other is kind of, cheating.
Yeah.
I don't know. I loved baseball when Barry Bonds was hitting 73 or Mark McGwire and Sammy Sosa were going for 60. I think Vince McMahon should make a baseball league and just legalize all steroids and everything. Just have the pitcher wear a helmet.
What's he going to call his league?
It's going to be the same thing.
XFL.
Yeah, XFL.
But this time it's going to be serious, they say.
I'll watch it.
I think a lot of people will for the curiosity.
If it's in April, when there's no NFL, I'll watch it.
Yeah, the football fan will. The avid football fan that wants to get their football will watch it. Just like in the NBA, when the season was over, I watched the Big Three. That's a great little 3-on-3 league owned by Ice Cube and others that have retired NBA players on there, and it was awesome, and it did really well. And I think that the football fan who can't get enough will watch the XFL. And I think if they placed it right, like a minor league football team, these guys who are in college, they don't make it in the draft, but then they go play there and they work their way up and do well, then they can go up to the NFL. That could be something. So I think it could be a good thing.
Have you ever heard about college football? That's the minor leagues, son. That's the minor leagues.
Well,
we got 30 seconds left. The show's getting better every week. You're getting better every week.
Thank you, Coach.
Your expertise on basketball is interesting. We need to bring in more high school sports. So if you're a parent or grandparent out there, we would love to interview your kid, right?
Yeah, next week we're going to have a high school basketball coach on. Be listening. We thank you for all the listeners.
West
let everybody
Ranch,
know.
right?
West Ranch. Let everybody know about the show. Travis Talk Sports. And you can also reach me on Twitter, Travis G Sports.